Hi, everybody. As we know, Colin Kaepernick has been dominating the news a lot lately. And a lot of people are upset because he's not standing for the national anthem. Now, I'm going to have to be honest. I'm not upset that he's silent during the national anthem. I'm upset that people are silent in the face of injustices. That's what I'm upset about. I'm upset that people are not upset that for so many minorities, people are being denied the very rights that is owed to them. Now, one thing that we have, and it's an issue that continues to plague our nation. Denying racism is a new racism. And you can tell those that come out real sensitive and saying things that Cap didn't even come out and say, making it a black-white issue when it don't even really have to be a black-white issue. Cap said that he wasn't standing because people are being denied their rights. There are bodies in the streets. That's what Cap said. And then people try to make the excuse, well, you're disrespecting the military. Really? No. What's disrespecting the military is people are out there dying for our rights, for our freedom. And then there are people over here that are not granted those rights. That's how you disrespect the military. You disrespect the military by being silent in the face of an injustice. When they're over there overseas fighting for our rights, fighting for our freedom, and you quiet when someone over here is getting gunned down in the streets for the color of their skin. That's how you disrespect the military. That's how you disrespect everything that this nation was built upon. And that's what Cap is saying. It's time that we live up to the promise of America. And we are all Americans. We love our country. But don't tell me that we can't criticize our nation. Because if we didn't criticize our nation, I would still be a slave. If we didn't criticize our nation, the Civil Rights Act would be a pipe dream. If we didn't criticize our nation. If we didn't criticize our nation, women wouldn't even have the right to vote. So don't get out here saying that we shouldn't criticize our nation. Unless some of you out there have a problem with those rights that I just named out. Because the way we enact real change is by pushing America. We are the people in order to form a more perfect union. That means each generation is obligated to push forward to make this nation a little bit better than they found it. That's the promise of America. We want to leave this generation, we want to leave a better country than what we found. And we don't get there by saying we can't criticize a nation that once tasted the bitter pill of civil war and went through slavery. If we didn't criticize a nation, we would still be segregated. If we didn't criticize this nation, as I said before, the Civil Rights Act will be a pipe dream. The Social Security Act will be something that we just dreamed about. It will be a hope and a lost cause. We're the nation that takes the bitter pill of civil war. So don't get out here saying that we can't criticize our nation. And if you really gave a damn about veterans, there wouldn't be so many of them starving in the streets. So don't get out there and try to use them as a crutch. If you're really concerned about veterans, get out there and do something. Donate. Get out there and do something. Push this nation to do more for our veterans when they come back home. They shouldn't be overseas fighting for our freedom, risking their lives, and then can't find a job when they get home. Stop. All you guys are doing is giving it lip service. Just giving another reason to criticize Cap when we know it's deeper than that. You're just using that for an excuse. If you're really concerned about our veterans, then get out there. Pound the pavement. You know what? I'll be out there with you. I'm down with you. Real progressives, we all down with you. If you're concerned about our veterans being treated unfairly, let's go pound the pavement. But this other stuff you're doing over here, by being angry because a man is standing up for his rights, the very rights that this nation has granted him, and now you want to deny the freedom of speech from him. But then tell me that you love America at the same time? The two don't coexist. If you love America, you love everything about America. You love the fact that we have the freedom of speech. We have the freedom to peacefully protest. There's nothing wrong with Cap doing that. He's bringing attention to a situation. And all you guys are doing out there is worrying about, well, what style he used. He should have did it this way. He should have did it that way. How about you go out there and show us how you would do it? How about you do that? How about that? But what you're doing right now isn't helping, and it raises eyebrows. What is your agenda? What do you believe in? Do you think that people being gunned down just because of the color of their skin is a good thing? It's not a good thing. Innocent cops getting gunned down isn't a good thing. Let me be very, very clear. Because what we do over here is we keep it real. And when I say we keep it real is we don't believe in no type of violence whatsoever. But the fact that a lot of people out here, when someone's gunned down in the streets, they ignore it and they immediately pull up their past history to try to find a reason why an unarmed person was gunned down in the streets. We can do better than that. Are you serious? Just because someone had a past life, just because someone once went to jail before, does it mean they should have died? Does it mean they deserve to die? We got to do better. And we got to stop denying that racism exists. Denying racism is a new racism. And until we face the fact that people are willing to act as if it don't exist, we're going to continuously have these problems. And I don't believe the nerve of some of you guys out there saying that Cap is half black, so he can't fight for black issues. First off, they're not black issues. We're talking about human being issues. Because I give a damn when someone is being gunned down regardless of what color they are. We care about our neighbors. That's who we are. When there's someone on the south side of Chicago, Detroit, or New York, or in my neighborhood, or from Alabama, I give a damn about them. Because 9 times out of 10, that person probably comes over for dinner. Probably play with your kids. You got to humanize these situations. Our kids don't see color. So we have to continuously remember that we are one. We are one nation. And the way we got here is because a lot of white people were just as tired and fed up with segregation. That's how we got a Civil Rights Bill signed. We didn't get a Civil Rights Bill signed just by blacks acting alone. We got a Civil Rights Bill signed because a lot of white people risked their lives also, and a lot of them were also lynched. And we have to always remember that to stand up for the issues that we care about, you don't have to be a certain color. You don't have to be gay to stand up for gay issues, gay rights. You don't have to be black to stand up for the rights for people to actually have a fair trial. And we know our criminal justice system is flawed. So you're asking. So here is my point that I'm trying to make. If you care about that flag, then make sure that no one in our country, make sure no one in our government is doing anything to demean it. Make sure that no one in this country is doing anything to deny people their rights of what that flag is supposed to stand for. Because remember, there are people overseas fighting for our rights. And if they're going to fight for their rights overseas, for our rights and risk their lives, and we have anyone in the United States of America whose rights aren't being protected, then that's disrespectful to our military. That means they're risking their lives for nothing. And that's not what we're about. We know they're fighting for our freedom. We know this. And if we're going to honor them, we have to make sure that we're doing everything that we're supposed to do at home. We have to make sure that no one is spending decades in prison over a nonviolent offense or for a petty marijuana charge when those who have crashed our economy haven't spent a day in jail, nor have they even been charged. We have to make sure that no one is on death row for a crime they did not commit just because we got a overzealous prosecutor who's trying to beef up their resume. And it goes on in this country far too often. Our criminal justice system is a joke. It is a complete joke. If you want to honor the military, let's start doing something about that. Let's start making sure that we don't have people going to jail just because a prosecutor is trying to beef up their resume. It goes on too often. Too often. Just a year ago, or maybe a year or two ago, Anthony Hinton, and I talk about Anthony Hinton every single time because you know what? I want someone to go to jail. Anthony Hinton from my home state of Alabama did 3 decades on death row. 3 decades. Why? For years, for 30 years, Anthony Hinton and his lawyers did everything in their power to try to get these prosecutors to retest this evidence. Anthony Hinton said, look, all you got to do is retest the gun. Retest the evidence. It wasn't me. Not only did they not retest the evidence, but they fought him for decades to make sure that he could never retest the evidence. Never. 3 decades later, Anthony Hinton is finally free. I want you guys out there to just take a wild guess of how Anthony Hinton is now free. Take a wild guess. How do you guys think he got free? What smoking gun did you think made him free? You know that same evidence that he was trying to retest for decades? He finally got a chance to retest it. And it proved that he wasn't the gunman. It wasn't even his gun. So, here's my point. And it's why I always bring this story up. I'm never going to stop bringing it up. Okay, so that means the real killers that Anthony Hinton was accused of got away, right? Okay, so we don't know who actually killed these people that Anthony Hinton. We don't know who's in it. We don't know who killed the people that Anthony Hinton was accused of killing, right? But we damn sure know what some criminals are, don't we? And those are the people that put Anthony Hinton in jail for 3 decades because it's clear that they knew he was innocent from the beginning. And no one has went to jail. Send one prosecutor to jail. Send one to jail. Come on. Because if we have to make examples out of them. Now, I don't mean make examples out of people just to be making examples out of. They need to be actually guilty. But these guys are guilty. We got to do better. That's what it's all about. When I say real progressives, when we say real progressives, we want a real progressive agenda. We aren't just playing around here. Our criminal justice system is a joke. The death penalty needs to go. It needs to go. And Kaepernick is bringing attention to a lot of injustices that we face. He's starting a conversation. And what he's done so far has been effective because he's making people choose sides. And yeah, Donald Trump came out and said some pretty ignorant things, saying, you know, hey, if he don't like this country, he should actually leave. But let Donald Trump talk. That's what we want him to do. Hillary Rodham Clinton, we are waiting to hear from her too. Let her talk. But we already know she's going to give a plastic answer. What I mean by plastic, the fakest, most politically correct answer she can actually give. We know these things. But don't silence anyone on this issue. Let them talk. Because you know what happens? We get to see people's real true colors, don't we? What about the lady Tommy? We get to see her real true colors, didn't we? When she accused Colin Kaepernick of talking about white people and blaming white people for problems. Let people talk. We get to decide who they really are, and then we know what we're working with. The fact that we have people that are upset with Colin Kaepernick for not standing for the national anthem. Well, I'm equally upset that every time someone's gunned down in the streets, people come up with a reason why they deserve to die in the first place. I'm equally upset with that. And we are better than that. We can do better than that. If people actually just sit down for a second and just listen to what Cap is actually saying. Let's start a conversation. Let's have a conversation about race in this country. Let's have an honest conversation about race. Let's hear your thoughts. And let's see how we can come together. Because unless there are some that don't want to come together, we understand that. It's never going to be a perfect world. But we are the people in order to form a more perfect union. And if we're going to form a more perfect union, we're going to have to do it together. We can't divide each other up by race, by color, by gender, by who we love, or who we worship. We have to understand that criticizing America isn't anti-American. It's actually American. That's what makes America America. And if we didn't criticize America, then America wouldn't be great. Because that's how great ideas are tossed out. Good ideas are made better. When we stand up for what we believe in and we stand up on principle with a vision of what kind of country that we want for ourselves and what type of country that we want for our kids. That's what makes America great. Silencing people saying, hey, you don't like it here, you can just go somewhere else, doesn't make America great. Because if that was the platform, if that was the agenda of America, again, I can't stress this enough, I would still be a slave. Women still wouldn't have the right to vote. Our Constitution wouldn't have so many amendments. Listen, in order to perform a more perfect union, we have to criticize America when it's things that need to be criticized on. And I will continue to criticize our joke of the criminal justice system, our private prisons. There's been far too many people that has been killed. There's been far too many people that's been murdered on death row. I just gave you a demonstration of Anthony Henderson from my home state, who was nearly murdered for a crime he didn't commit. And the fact that no one is in prison yet behind it, no prosecutor has lost their license behind that, it furtherly encourages other prosecutors to do the exact same things. That is a problem. It's not just my problem. It's not just their problem. It's all of our problems together. We have to do better. And we can't continuously deny that racism exists. Denying racism is the new racism. But we can become a better country. We are a great country, but we can become better. And the way we become better is through unity and not ignoring the challenges that we face. I'm going to leave it there.